Something is shifting today. You see, my faith never altered through the test. Because all good things come from above. Denny, I believe I'll stay with God. I believe I'll keep hold of that nail-scarred hand. Luke 7:12 says, now when he came nigh to the gate of the city, behold, there was a dead man being carried out, the only son of his mother, and she was a widow. And much of the people of the city was with her. But on that day, she met the resurrection. She came in contact with Jesus. I've been told many, many times that I could motivate dead men. And not until the last few years, Brother Isaiah, did I really understand what that word meant. Man told me back years ago. Now, you see, I haven't always been in the prophetic ministry, but a man told me that years ago when I was so deep and so embedded, when I was entrenched in denomination. But God has given me the ability to stand amongst congregations, a congregation of people, no matter where it may be, and you're dead in your spirit. And I believe God has given me the ability to call you out of the grave you lay in right now and call you back to life, breathe the breath of life in you. So many of you have come to church looking for a ritual, looking through a couple of songs. You want a 30-minute sermon, but heaven forbid that you should need a move of God. You might need something that takes a little longer than 30 minutes. You might need something that takes more than just a couple of congregational songs. I don't want just singing. I want anointed singing. I don't want preaching, but I want anointed preaching. And I want a man of God that believes that God is able to heal people now. I'm telling you what, I come to call you out of the grave you're in. I come to prophesy you back to life. I come to speak to you and tell you this morning that though you may be dead in the body that you walk in, I see life, and I see life more abundantly. Oh, but man of God, my son is doing this. My daughter's out doing that. Keep praying, because they're coming in. For some of you, your spirit is calling to believe in the supernatural faith. The mother knew the now moment was about to happen, and the God of now faith arrived. In verse 13 it says, all Jesus said to the mother was, weep not. Verse 14, he came and touched the bier, which was the coffin. I'm here today preaching to somebody as a roadblock. I want to stop you from the road you're on right now. I want your now moment to happen right now. Oh, but man of God, I've got this going on in my life. I've got so much fun I can go out and have. Well, there's pleasure in sin for a season. But I'm telling you, sin will take you farther than you want to go. It'll cost you more than you want to pay. Oh, I feel your spirit this morning. Preached up there in Iowa, and at last we counted over 50 people come for salvation. I had all those people ask me, they said, man of God, boy, that's fiery preaching. Does everybody preach like that down there where you're from? Christ for the world, we do. I don't know about everybody else. They said, man of God, are you Pentecost? No, I'm saved. Man of God, you made mention you went to Free Will Baptist. Well, that's just where my foundation began, but I ain't a Free Will Baptist. I'm a saved man of God. You see, I don't have to be restricted by a denomination. I don't have to be restricted by your carnal mind. I don't have to stop where you think God shouldn't take me. I don't have to put up a sign and say henceto and no further. God said He would lead me, He would guide me, and He would take me farther, and He would show me more. And I see it today that I'm here for your roadblock. I'm here to sound the warning for you that He's a now God, and He's ready to bring you out of the hell that you're in. He's ready to take that state of mind. Most people live in a prison cell that's about 6 inches from one side of their head to the other. I'm here with the keys of death, hell, and the grave, and I'm here to let you out. I'm almost through, honestly. At that moment, the God of now had interrupted the funeral procession of the dead young boy because his mother believed He is a God of now. It says in the Word that Jesus just touched the coffin and the young man sat up. See, what you all thought was dead, God can still speak it into life. Your situation is not dead. Prepare for a great journey, for there is the sound of abundance of rain. You're here this morning and you're in a battle, and your back's against the wall or you're in a corner. You were not created to be defeated. Young men, young women, the world's going to offer you a whole lot of stuff. They're going to entice you with a good time. They're going to tell you to go ahead and do it, but they're not going to stand before your parents, your whoever. They're not going to stand before them and take the heat for you. They're going to leave you there. I remember years ago when I lived out in the world, and I went out and done a lot of things that I shouldn't have done, and they were all my friends as long as I paid the bill. This thing is off. It must be. Everybody wanted to hang around me as long as I kept the money supply going. Everybody wanted to come and stay the night because they couldn't go to their own home because I had my own place. But as soon as I told them they couldn't stay here no more, they wouldn't come around no more. Listen to me, parents. Pray for your kids. Never give up on them. Moses said, or in Exodus 14 and 13, and Moses said unto the people, Fear ye not, stand still and see the salvation of the Lord, which He will show to you today. For the Egyptians whom you have seen today, ye shall see them again no more forever. Now, some of you got a life-altering situation that you're faced with here today. And I'm closing. You've got a life-altering situation going on in your life. But that doesn't mean your life is over. You may have made a decision in your life. Now, everybody stand with me. Just go ahead and stand. You've made a decision in your life and you've chose to follow through with something, and now you're having thoughts of, I wish I would have not done this. I wish I hadn't done that. But nevertheless, right now, we're there at that moment. We're at that crossroad. And I believe I'm here today to tell you that though what the devil is trying to wreck you with, God wants to bless you. God wants to take all the doubt that you have and the fear that the devil's put inside you, and that you're never going to be anything, that your life is ruined. I'm here to tell you your life is just beginning. I'm here to tell you right now that God is not here to punish you. He's here to forgive you. He's not here to whip you. He's here to love you. Oh, but how can I do this? How can I do that? But God. I'm so glad for the but God moment, Brother Sharp, in my life. I'm so glad that I finally, in 1997, I decided to quit running from God. I was called to preach at the age of 8 years old in a Free Will Baptist church in Springdale. But Lula had nobody to. My daddy at the time wasn't saved. I didn't know how to handle that, Amber. I didn't know what to do. How do you know when you were called? Because I remember standing in my brother's bedroom. We had a little table and I had my Bible open and I was preaching to them to get saved. What was your message? John 3:16. Yes. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son. I stood there and I preached to my brothers. I told them, if you don't get saved, you're going to a devil's hell. But I said, I can remember. It's amazing how your mind can recall at the age of 8. But I can remember telling them that I said that if they don't get saved, we're going to a devil's hell. But I said, but I've come to give you life. And at that age, Brother Sharp, I didn't know much, but boy, I was sure preaching the best I could. Mom was in the other room. She just shouting all over the place. She knew I was preaching. But then there come a time in my life, and I'm telling you this personal story because this is for somebody here today. I knew I was called to preach at a young age. But then life come calling with things of the world, and at that time I chose the world. I went out, did a lot of crazy things. But my mama never quit praying. She kept prophesying when prophecy wasn't cool. Yes, that's a country song. She kept believing that I was coming in. And God took me a long way to get me into the house of God. But he took me to a place called Marine Corps Recruit Depot in San Diego, California. All by myself in a room full of about 85 men, crying. I want my mama. And I said, I wish you guys would shut up because I'm about to start crying too. I was about 20-year-old. I made a deal with God. I said, you get me through this, I'll serve you till you call me out here. Not till I'm dead, until I'm translated. Ain't it, right? There goes Alan. Waving at y'all as I'm getting out of here. Got home early 1998. God began to deal with me again. He said, you remember what we said? I'm glad God don't forget. He said, I remember the deal we made. He said about October 22nd, 1996, when you were in the receiving platoon. Man, we had cold showers for a week. Man, those guys stunk. But I made a deal on October 22nd, 1996. I got home. You know what I went to? I went like most people did. I was trying to forget what I promised. But God said no. So I made a promise to be at church on July 11th, 1997, knowing that we never get out in time to go. It's amazing how God works. We got out at noon. So even though I wasn't serving God, I still a man of my word. I gave my word. Daddy said, if you can't keep your word, you're worthless. So I did. I kept my word, Isaiah, and I showed up for church that night. One youth leader on one side and the other youth leader on the other side. I didn't know that's who they were until afterwards. And the man that preached that night, he averages 45 minutes to an hour minimum. Preached 5 minutes. I asked God, I showed up for church that night and I said, God, can I just hear the man of God preach? Because he was the fiery Pentecostal preacher that never left my mind growing up. I always remember Jimmy Collins. 5 minutes goes and he's done. Well, that convicting spirit hit me. And I'm glad to know that Mama had trained enough inside me that I knew that was just God talking to me. I said, God, I'm a big, strong boy, 5'8", 140 pounds. I said, I'll take the first step, God, if you'll do the rest. The next thing I knew, I was at the altar praying. And the God that I thought was always out to hurt me, he loved me. And then I started preaching right where I laid my cross down before. Picked it up, started carrying it. Ever head bowed, nobody looking around.